Journey to adulthood comes to an end as young men and women return home after weeks in the bush. The initiation period, called Koma, is a transition into adulthood and has been practiced for centuries. eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto was at one of the ceremonies in Limpopo following those developments. Let's cross over to him this afternoon for the very latest. Very good afternoon to you, Moloko Moloto. And I mean, while it's an important cultural practice, every single year there are always persistent concerns around the safety of initiates. What was communicated today as they made their way back home?
That is very true, Rolfiwa. It's a cultural practice that's been observed or practiced for centuries. And it is not only about circumcision. Yes, it is part of it, but also we understand that the people who attend are also taught about cultural issues. They are also taught about how to be responsible adults. And of course, in Limpopo province, it is practiced widely. This year alone, there was a total of 68,000 people, both males and females, but the males are the majority. About 11,000 of the 68,000 happen to be females. And we today visited the area of Moleji, just about 30 kilometers outside Polokwane, and that's where thousands others were also being welcomed by the senior traditional leader in the area of Moleji. All the people, both males and females, who attended that particular or those schools in the area of Moleji, none of them passed away. But overall, in the province of Limpopo, unfortunately, out of the 68,000 people who attended initiation schools this year, up to now, there are 3 deaths. We are told by the provincial Coxstar department that the 3 include the 14-year-old girl who passed on in the area of Zibidiela here in the Capricorn district, and the other is a 12-year-old boy in the area of Sekhukhune district. And these 2, we are told by the provincial government that they were suffering from asthma and TB, and unfortunately that information was not available to the authorities, and as a result they unfortunately passed on. And the 3rd victim happens to be a 44-year-old male in the area of Vembe. Now, we don't know the cause of his death up to so far. I must point out that the number of deaths this year went down. Last year, the province recorded 4 deaths, and they had over 70,000 people who attended initiation schools in the province. I'm told that the oldest of the initiates who attended this year's initiation schools is a 73-year-old man from the Sekhukhune district. And in the area of Moleji, where we spent the day, among the graduates, Rofiwa, included the first lady of the area of Moleji, who is the wife of the local chief or the senior traditional leader, Mausechaba Manarimloto, who is 53-year-old. She joined the women and the girls in the initiation schools, and she's saying, look, I have to be an example. But let's listen to Hoshi Khabumloto Wabararo, the senior traditional leader there, who was talking about the significance of initiation schools, emphasizing that they don't force people, and saying that it remains relevant.
We are hands-on. We spent sleepless nights looking after these children. RG chance. That's why we got it right. And teamwork with all the royal members and the elders of the community.
Talk to us about the issue of compliance. Department of Health, I'm told, is involved, the police. Do you not force these youngsters to participate in the initiation schools?
You can ask them, not in our case, not in Moleji. They just came here voluntarily so. They defied their parents They said, no, coach, we want to go there. And some of them came to me crying literally. Hence, I negotiated with their parents, release them. I will take care of them.
Moloko, you gave us a very high-level explanation of the cultural practice and its history alongside the safety precautions that have been taken this year around. But you also mentioned people in their late ages of life, over 70 and so, were part of this particular cohort of initiates. Why is it so significant that even at the age of over 70 or 70 plus, it's still seen as important to be a part of this process?
Maybe let me start with the male initiation process. Circumcision is very much a part of it, essentially the cutting of the foreskin, which of course we know that it also has the health benefits. We are told by the health authorities that men who are circumcised are reducing about 60% chances of contracting HIV, for instance. So it is very important in that regard as well. But also, they are being taught some of the cultural values that are being instilled. And, of course, there's no limit. Of course, in Limpopo province, you cannot take children. If I'm not wrong, children who are below 10, they don't go there. You must at least wait until they have come of age. At least teenagers, 13 years, they certainly are allowed to take part. When it comes to the initiation of women, I have absolutely no idea what happens there. And, of course, it remains a secret. As we were talking to some of the people, the traditional surgeons, we wanted to know, what actually transpired. But they don't divulge much, except to say that, look, we teach values. And we spoke to the First Lady of the Moleji Traditional Authority, the wife of the chief there, Magos Chaba Moloto, who is also part of the graduates. She attended this year's initiation schools, and as I said, she is 53. But she talked to us about why, despite others who perhaps say this is a primitive practice, she says, look, this is as important as it was then, and it remains important even now. Let's listen to her.
It feels good, mainly because everyone, especially women and young women, our children, a girl child, a boy child, they look up to me. They look up to their parents and grandparents who have to, at all times, instill the beautiful morals we grew up with. So the school is all about teaching everyone, the young women, our children, our girl children, what morals are all about. It molds your interpersonal relationships. It grooms you to become a better person tomorrow. It teaches you the laws and regulations that we have as families, so that as and when you go out and get married, you know how to care for your next family, you know how to build the relationship, and you know how to teach your children the same morals that we have been taught.
Certainly an important process to come of age when done the correct way. Moloko Moloto, I'm going to let you go at this stage. That is Moloko Moloto out in Limpopo, following the initiates who have completed their initiation process. And as from the sounds of it, it seems as though the bulk of it went successfully. Still to come.